Two big updates on Dusan Vlahovic today, one from the Times and the other from, of course, the biggest transfer guru in the world in Fabrizio Romano to come. Plus, the breaking news last night, Mikel Arteta could be getting a new 2-year contract extension at the Emirates Stadium. We want your thoughts. We want your feelings. The link is in the live comment section for you to phone in and have your say, because that's the only way to do fan channels, to give the fans the opportunity to speak. Smash that like and share button. This is the Done Deal Show. Let's do this. Welcome back. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Again, the Arsenal news just keeps on coming over the course of January. Now there's a new deal on the cards for Mikel Arteta. Does he deserve a new deal? I want your views. I want your opinions. I want to know what you think and feel in relation to that. There are two more updates this morning in relation to the Vlahovic deal. Of course, I'm going to give you my standpoint and how I'm reading this. I tend not to look at transfers in the same way as the majority of people. And we'll go through all of them this morning. I hope that you're all good, though. I hope you're all well. Looking forward to the weekend's football ahead. Some really tasty affairs, actually. Yesterday, of course, tomorrow, we've got Chelsea, Tottenham. But Man United, West Ham today being a 3 o'clock kickoff is a strange one for me. That's always such a good game of football, whether it's in East London or in Manchester. It's always very, very good indeed. So very intrigued to see how this one goes. Morning, AC. Hope you're well. I'm very good, my friend. I'm very, very good indeed. Very happy. Lots of good things going on. So I cannot complain. Here's an interesting comment. Vlahovic deal accepted. Yeah, Terry. Well, of course, that was the reports. And there was another one yesterday evening. And these are some of the reports that have come out in the last few days. I saw this here. I'm going to go and find it because I tweeted about it last night. It was another big Italian publication last night who claimed that this deal was of agreed terms with Fiorentina. This is from Repubblica. 3.2 million followers they have. And they spoke very much around the offer being accepted or being kind of agreed between the clubs, but the player still considering what is going on. At the same time, what we have seen as well is some updates from Fabrizio Romano, as we said in the build-up to this, where he's kind of quoting the Fiorentina manager who says that Vlahovic is still here every single day with lots of rumors about his future. We can't wait for the market to close. Fabrizio here has said there is still nothing new on the player and the agent's side. And listen, Fabrizio is going to report the information as he receives it from the clubs or from the player, whoever's given him his information. Fabrizio isn't. What I like about Fabrizio, it leaves a lot of what he says up to interpretation, because he just tells you what he's being told as opposed to what he believes is going on. In comments like this, of course, he expresses more on his channels and when he's on shows, and does a brilliant job. But as I say, there are other publications in Italy, highly credible, verified, as we say here. Repubblica that we mentioned, they shared this story yesterday. We can see on their profile here, 3.2 million followers. A huge verified outlet of say that Arsenal have agreed terms with Fiorentina, but the player is now seriously considering the transfer. And this kind of echoes everything that we were told 24 hours ago by other Italian correspondents, that there is an agreement between the clubs. And now this will be an unofficial agreement, as we know. This kind of gives everybody an out if the player decides not to go, because officially Arsenal can say we weren't rejected because no official bid went in. We saw that yesterday with Manchester United fans with Julian Alvarez. As I'd said for 2 or 3 weeks, in my belief, Man United were in talks, but we were briefing the tier 1 press that we weren't, so that if he picks another club, we could deny all attachments to the player. And that's what Man United fans did yesterday. For me, we were rejected. The journalist from South America who broke the news about the Man City deal was the same guy that said that Man United were pushing for this deal. The irony is we believe him enough to be credible to break the Man City of Alvarez news before Fabrizio, before Matt Law, before Simon Stone, before Hurst, before Dean Jones, before Sky Sports, before the Times, before the Telegraph. So this guy breaks Man City news first, but yet we don't think he's credible enough when it comes to saying Man United were pushing for the deal. It doesn't add up to me. And what I think is going on here with the Vlahovic news is very simple. I don't think there's any problem between the club and Fiorentina. It may not be an official bid, but they've got an agreement between themselves in principle. This is very normal. Official bids are very much the last process. When you start to study a transfer next, just pick a transfer. It normally is talks between the player and the club via intermediaries, and talks between another intermediary, sometimes the same between the two clubs. When they get an agreement in both places, then the official process of official bids and official sit-down start. But most of the legwork is done prior. Actual transfers can be done in about 24 hours. All the legwork happens prior. Just study the process of it and you'll see. So the same thing appears to be happening here. Arsenal Football Club are doing all the legwork with the club. They're trying to convince the player. If Vlahovic today, tomorrow, next week says, I want to join Arsenal, then the official bid goes in. Then what Arsenal have to hope for is that Fiorentina don't play silly buggers like Sevilla did with Chelsea last year, where they go, actually, we now want more. That is always a distinct possibility at that moment in time in any type of sales process. That can very much happen. What's also intriguing is the news that came out as well today. This is from the Times Sport, and we shared this on the 7th of January on the Football Terrace. We said north of 10 million. It could go as high as 15 million. And now the Times Sport, again, one of the most credible sources in the world, one of the most credible news outlets in the world, has said that the agent is now asking for around 15 million in agent fees if any club is to sign the Fiorentina striker in January. So let us not forget that this is something, and again, this isn't a Football Terrace exclusive. This news was also put out by a number of journalists like Dean Jones 3 weeks ago, that the agent's looking for big money. This is Arsenal Football Club are prepared to pay it to get him to convince the player to come. So it's very clear to me. I don't care for the semantics. I don't care for the PR protection of your football clubs. I put it out last night when I said Man United got rejected. You just saw probably 90% of the replies, you're attention seeking. We weren't in for him. We didn't even bid. The tier ones have said we didn't do it. Listen, I don't live in that world, and I never will live in that world of believing a story that it seems to always conveniently fit. If you approach a player to sit down and have a conversation with him, you're looking to sign him. You might be going in there to test his personality, but you weren't even in the room. Man United, like all the big European clubs, have been scouting Julian Alvarez. And if we were not interested, we wouldn't have sat down in a meeting room with his agent and discussed in detail why we would like to sign him and what we think he could bring to Manchester United. Just like the Zakaria deal, we're keeping our powder dry. The difference is here, Arsenal are being very bold and very rash with the way they're trying to get him. And I believe that's part of the tactic to show they want him more than other clubs. But in terms of the deal, it's a complex situation. It's always worth going back to the beginning and the origins of the story. Arsenal think they can do it. They're growing in confidence. They're willing to pay the money. They're willing to give the agent this big agent fee that's now been confirmed what we all already knew of around £15 million being offered to him. As per the brilliant Fabrizio Romano, nothing has changed from the player and agent side yet because they haven't made a decision. So we're getting a lot of the same news now about fees being agreed between clubs. That's very normal. Fiorentina are happy to sell him for the right money. They don't care where he goes. They'd probably prefer him to leave Italy, in fact. So it's going to be very intriguing to see how this goes, what happens with it, what direction this deal goes in. But for me, it's on and it's active. That's just clear to see. And I think all of you, the Football Terrace community, absolutely know and can see beyond all of the, not the PR element, but the process that's there. Of course, you know what's funny? If Fiorentina would say to Arsenal, no, we're not doing it, this deal would already be dead. If the club weren't going to sell and they weren't in and around an agreement, the process it's at now wouldn't even exist. It's all about Vlahovic saying yes. All about it. Terry is twerking. He isn't coming. I mean, I don't care whether he comes to Arsenal or not. I don't have a dog in this fight, but it's just a simple fact of these process. Comment here from Alpha says Fiorentina chief admits they are willing to negotiate with an EPL club for the star, but he is not keen on a move to England and would prefer Juve. And again, Alpha, we know this. This is Arsenal trying to convince him to come. This is it. There's nothing incorrect about that statement. Arsenal were offering him huge money, his agent, huge money to do it. Now, the point here is, think about this point, Alpha. The agent wants 15 million. What if Juve are only prepared to give him 5 million and won't go above it? The deal may not happen. What if Man City only want to give him 8 million? The deal might not happen. Money matters in these things. I think to write Arsenal off is ridiculous. Now, the point is, when it comes to these types of deals, what you have to try and remember is more transfers fail to happen than happen. So it's easier to back the missing of a player and the non-signing of a player than it is saying, this could happen. Man United are linked with about 500 players a year. If you say none of them are happening, you're going to be right about 95% of the time, right? Oh, I'm always right. It's whether it could or couldn't happen that interests me. Now, we're going to take your calls in a moment. What I also want to speak about today on the show is Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta is looking like he may get, I'm just looking for my pen here for the timestamps, so that people watching later can just get to where they want to be. But Mikel Arteta is looking at a brand new Arsenal deal. 2-year contract extension for Mikel Arteta. Now, what's interesting, looking at the poll that we've got running here, 38% of you think that he deserves a new deal. 35% say no, and 28% say should finish the season first. And it's an intriguing one because there has been progression this year, in my opinion. And we spoke about this yesterday on the Football Terrace, that Arsenal have improved. Arsenal have got better, more resolute, harder to break down, more competitive in the top games against the top 6. More points. They've won more games. The youngsters are developing well. There have been improvements. Not enough for everybody, but there have been improvements. Absolutely no doubt about it whatsoever. So I'm just intrigued today to work out whether or not you think he deserves a new deal. I kind of feel like they should wait until the end of the season before they make the official offer. Arsenal Football Club don't want to put themselves in a position like Man United did with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It ended up costing them more money to get rid of him because he signed this brand new 3-year contract extension. It cost millions of pounds more to get them out of the football club. But the big question today is, do you think that Mikel Arteta deserves a new deal? True Gunner TV, man like Brandon, who got a lot of stick yesterday. And I tell you what, your video going viral caused a lot of problems for me yesterday as well. I've seen a lot of stuff from people, a lot of hate. Do you know what I found really interesting about every time we have a fan giving an honest opinion going viral is the amount of people that work for or feature on channels who are only famous because they went viral on fan opinion are saying it's wrong to share these types of opinions. Do you know what I'm saying? I honestly couldn't believe it. It's like an arms dealer protesting against war. Do you know what I mean? It was a mad one to me yesterday. But look, big up to yourself. I don't agree with your opinion on Tommy Asso. I think he's been very good this season. I've said it on many shows. But the Football Terrace, we were the first to let anyone call in and come on our shows. We remain the same today. And lots of opinions get expressed every day in the comment section, on phone calls, by myself, by others, that not everybody agrees with. But every time somebody has an opinion which annoys people, by the way, it wasn't an offensive opinion. It wasn't a bigoted opinion. It wasn't, having a go at any particular types of people. It was just an opinion on a football player. Whenever that triggers that amount of people, it makes me double down. And it makes me say, we will continue to do this because you, the viewers, are the most important. We are and will remain the only channel that on a daily basis allows all of you to phone in whenever you want. Not on every show, because not every show is built for phone calls. Or we don't really phone call, but StreamYard links. And we won't back down from that. When you say mad things, we'll share them. Of course we will. Because 99% of the people that watch and consume the Football Terrace know what this channel is about. Letting real fans have opinions, rivals bantering each other, allowing people to give their views. And what's crazy about it is this. A lot of people I see out there, there's a guy that kicked off about it yesterday, and he literally works for a media outlet who share they do about 10 articles a day, which are titled based on what people have said on Twitter. So it will say things like, the titles could be something like, sack Mikel Arteta now. And then there's a little thing about, man, Arsenal lost. Here's what Arsenal fans think. And it's just, quote, it's just all the tweets from these people. So like the newspaper or the publication this person works for literally shares fan opinions, highlights them, sensationalizes them, and posts them to make money. The Football Terrace does it, and this individual has an issue with it. The hypocrisy is crazy, but as I say, I'm big enough, strong enough, and ugly enough to take it on the chin. The Football Terrace won't change. Not for love nor money. Not for anybody will it change at all. The fact that I see so many people over the last 3 to 4 years now doing phone-ins, doing rival shows, covering more than one team. You know, I know that Football Terrace has inspired a lot of people to make a lot of this content, and we're proud of that. We're absolutely proud of it. You know, we were sharing some of our memories yesterday of, you know, some of the first, you know, we've been doing the top 6 previews stroke shows now for over 3 years on the terrace, so about 3 years now, where all rivals coming together to review 2 teams. I remember the first one we ever did in the studio, and we had like a Liverpool fan on a Chelsea Arsenal preview, and the outrage was mad. How dare you have a Liverpool fan preview this game? How dare you have a Liverpool fan give opinions on a match they're not involved with? Now everybody's doing it. So, yeah, I stand by what we do. I stand by what we've done at the Football Terrace. And, Brandon, I'm going to say to you, don't agree with your opinion, but you're welcome to come on and have your say and express it. And my view to the people that don't like the supposed negative opinions, share the positive ones then. So when Jess comes on and defends Arsenal, 250 of you quote tweet that, but you don't, do you? The only reason you're poking at it is because you have a problem with me personally, or you don't like the terrace, or you feel that, oh, why am I doing that? I don't know. But the hypocrisy is mad. I'm not going to call out any individuals by name because I don't have a problem with anybody. Like, I don't have a personal issue with any said individual. The maddest thing is, one of the people that was casing into the Football Terrace yesterday asked me for a job only a couple of months ago. It's amazing. Apparently, 2 8th-place finishes and an FA Cup are now acceptable enough to be given a new contract. Arsenal can never call themselves a top club ever again if this happens. Standards in the gutter is what True Gunner TV has got to say. We've got a few more super chats that have come through here. Do a boxing match and promos to end the beef. Oh, bruv, there isn't a beef, though. There is no beef. And, of course, I've addressed it on the show because I see stuff in the comments and whatever. But, you know, and I speak to people privately because, you know, it does take a toll on you when there's lots of people lying about you, spreading bullshit and everything else. But I ain't going to waste day-to-day energy. I'm going to run my business. I'm going to look after my children. I'm going to be good to my friends and enjoy the football today. That's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it's as simple as that for me. Simple as that for me. What Lee is saying, everything about his Arsenal fan base is true. They want to be toxic positivity. If anyone speaks facts, they can't accept it. Well, look, I think it's just a case of I got shown some screenshots from an Arsenal group chat yesterday, and people kicking off that the Football Terrace has Arsenal fans coming on and moaning, and it was showing me the thread of, but why is that a problem? And it was simply because they're not an Arsenal channel. At least if it was an Arsenal channel, we wouldn't mind Arsenal fans going on and expressing themselves. Think about that. Think about that. It's crazy to me. And there is a lot of toxic positivity out there. There's a lot of liars out there, a lot of charlatans, but it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that for me. Right, we're going to go on to some to speak to some callers. Ali, you probably would. I'm an old man now. I'm 36 years old. I'm an old guy. I don't want to fight anyone. Like, this is the thing with it. I don't want any beef. I'm going to start tweeting and atting people. I just block people. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, if the lies become too much on on people's streams, on people's tweets, I'll just file defamation against the videos and have the videos taken down. Because the things that are being said are not true. I can prove it because YouTube is the proof. I had a guy yesterday say that, oh, you stole this idea. I showed him a video from 3 years ago. He come back and went, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. I mean, it's fine, mate. It's like, it ain't a big deal to me. It ain't a big deal to me. And as I say, respect to everyone doing their thing. You know, I ain't going to try and damage anyone from doing what they do. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? And I don't really understand it. I try get there, but it is what it is. I got good people around me. We're happy with what we're doing. And there we go. If someone cheats on his girlfriend and then stops cheating, his behavior is factually improved. That doesn't mean he's a great boyfriend. Why is improving on the mess you created great management? That's a really good analogy. That's a really, really, really great analogy. And I suppose the way you have to look at it is this, and I can't talk about those situations because I have zero tolerance for it. In terms of me, if I'm with someone and they're to cheat on me, there is no comeback from it. It's over. That's my standpoint. But I've got friends. I've got a friend where him and his wife, I'm not going to say who did who to whoever, because I'm not going to go that personal, but they had a situation like that, spent some time apart, got back together. Like, they're really happy now. And I suppose it's all comes down to how much do you actually love and respect one another? And will your lives together moving forward be better than if you split? So you turn that into a football sense, Sean. It's a great point. It is a great point. Arsenal have to look at it. Do we feel that we'll be in a better position moving forward if we stick with Arteta, or will life be better if we cut ties with him? But it's a very, very good point, my friend. It really, really is. Thank you, Pav. I appreciate that. It's unbelievable. Thank you. The love is huge. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, mate. Love the channel. I'm all for Arteta's new contract. The guy has done wonders for this club. Top 4 will be a sensational job, is what Lee Southey's got to say. Thank you very much, my friend. We're going to go to some calls now. I want to get your views and I want to get your attentions. The Mr. Arsenal podcast. How you doing, bro? Hope you're good. Says Arteta getting a new contract is showing a lack of ambition. Do you know what I also think and find as well? And this is nothing to do with any YouTubers per se. It's just some Arsenal fans that have an issue with the Football Terrace speaking to Arsenal fans. Have you thought that maybe, and I'm probably giving business ideas to people here, have you thought that maybe some of the bigger Arsenal channels don't give a voice to these people in terms of they can't come on and have their say because they're not popular on Twitter or you know, they're not good on the camera or whatever? And also, maybe they feel that some of the other Arsenal platforms and accounts on socials, if they do express dissatisfaction, they're shot down as being a fake fan. They're told they're this, they're told they're that. Now, regulars on the Football Terrace, I banter with and have a go at. So Igal and Jess and Louis and KJ, we all have a pop at each other and dig into each other because we know each other really well. What you got to understand is those people are my friends. So the way you treat your friends is very different to how you treat, you know, a random person that calls in. There's more respect. So I would say that to a lot of gooners. Maybe the reason why some people fluctuate towards the terrace is because they just get the chance to have their say. They get cooked in the comments a lot of the time, and I challenge them on many occasions. And do you know what's really funny about it? I actually took your advice, the viewers. About 5 months ago, you all said I interrupt people too much, and I still do that on occasions. And I challenge everybody's opinion. I've stopped doing it as much. Just let people talk. Thank you. Cheers. I share it. I'll put it out there. Now I'm being told, why don't you challenge the opinion more? And it goes to prove something that Ricky Gervais, I heard him say a little while ago. If you try to please everybody, you please no one. If you try to please everybody, you please no one. And that's what I'm going to say about this. We are going to talk about the news that's trending. We're going to allow anyone to phone in and have their say. We are not going to change. And if people don't like it, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Simple as that. First caller of the day. I'm going to bring this guy on first because this guy has been calling into the terrace and chatting to the terrace. He was probably the first Arsenal fan who I ever saw watch the terrace. Man like Wilson is backstage. Very, very happy to see him back here. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Terry. I'm doing good. I have to say, during this transfer window, every transfer window is usually frustrating for every single Arsenal fan. But this transfer window, even though we've not brought anybody in yet, this Valnich thing is driving me crazy. When on earth? It's driving me crazy. It's like rumor after rumor after rumor after rumor. It's obvious that Arsenal are interested. Number two, we put the money on the table. I don't think the money is the problem. It's Valenich's age. It's Valenich's agent who's holding things up. It's so obvious. It's not just up front that needs strengthening. It's our midfield as well, because our midfield we are so light in midfield. And the moment that Partey got sent off against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup semi-final, and he just got back from AFCON. Seriously, man, we're an absolute mess in midfield, and now we could be going to the bloody Burnley game with only potentially the Conga as our only midfielder. It's a mess, Terry. We need to sort this out sooner rather than later. Our season defines on it. If we don't buy anybody in, we will. If we don't get anybody in January, we'll be in big trouble. Simple as that. That's all I can say on that.
Do you know what, Will? Do you know what I would say to you, mate? Like, I've praised Arsenal a lot this season. I think there's been improvements. But expectations shouldn't be set in stone. And what I mean by that is nobody expected at the beginning of the season for Arsenal and Leicester, as two clubs to mention, to be this bad. To be as bad as they've been for the majority of the campaign. A window of opportunity has presented itself. No one expected Chelsea to go for a run like they're in, really. Again, no one can show me where they predicted this. So what I would say the way I would look at it from an Arsenal point of view is this. You've done well to get where you are, but if you make some moves now, you can cement it and push on. And it could just be a case of, well, let's try to buy some of the summer targets now. That is what makes sense to me, looking from the outside into this. So look, I totally get where you're coming from, mate, and it's going to be intriguing to see what the Gooners do. Wilson, listen, I respect and appreciate all the support you've given the Terrace over. You literally were the first Arsenal fan, and I remember it was when I used to walk along the street. I remember doing Alexander Lacazette videos, and I remember
seeing I've seen that.
When I had literally like 10 people watching me live. So listen, I really appreciate that, Wilson. I really do, mate.
You're very welcome, Terry. Anytime.
Take care, bro. All the best, young man. Thank you very much indeed. Next on the show, I'm going to go to the Cozy Arsenal podcast. What you saying, buddy?
Hello, how are you doing, Terry?
I'm very well. What do you want to say, my friend?
Yeah, I want to speak about Mikel Arteta.
Go for it.
Yeah. I've seen, I've just like you've said it, Arsenal want to give him a new contract. But I just feel like we should wait until January, like another year, until January next year. His contract runs down in 2023. And I just feel like, this season, it's been a lot of mixed reactions, lows and downs. But if he can get us to top 5 or top 6, because I can't really say top 4, it's going to be very difficult, but top 5, top 6, this season. And then by January next year, we need to know where we are. If we are in that situation where we are strong, we are fighting, because I believe they'll back him. The Athletic have said that they're willing to back him. If next year we are top 3, top 4, definitely give him a new contract. But if we are still in the same mess next year, then for me right now, giving him a new contract, I feel like it would be too early. The excuse of Manchester City wanting to take him, I don't believe that. Yes, I've seen the rumors, they're interested in him, things like that. I just feel like, just give him more time to prove himself, right? That is my opinion, Terry.
Listen, mate, I hear where you're coming from. I hear what you're saying, my friend. Thank you very much for that call. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Top man. We have Corey on the show next. Another Gooner. What are you saying, Corey?
I'm gonna be honest, Terry. I saw these reports coming out about this 2-year deal. It's well too early for that. Let's be honest. Like, I appreciate what he's actually brought in terms of culture-wise and the young players. You know what I mean? Like I spoke to you on the other show. It's a double-edged sword with a lot of these players. A lot of them might not stay with us, and we can potentially, regain revenue back off these players. The only issue I've got with this is, for 2 seasons consecutive, we finished 8th. We got knocked out by Olympiacos the first season he was in, which I can understand. He was new in the job and whatnot. The second season, we got knocked out by Villarreal. We've had embarrassing performances against Nottingham. You know what I mean? Recently, we just got dumped out of the Carabao Cup. It's well too early to start talking about a 2-year deal. You know what I mean? He hasn't got enough credit in the bank. From fair enough, the first season when he won the FA Cup, that for me gave him leeway for the season after. But then we finished 8th. You know what I mean? Everyone's calling for his head again. For me, it's naivety on the board. It seems like give him a 2-year deal. If shit's fan, we've got a scapegoat in a way. Or, like you said with the Ali situation, they, you know what I mean, they jumped the gun too early. They offer a 2-year deal, and then it's expensive to buy him out, which I can't see Arsenal would do that. I think they would just sit on the laurels and just, you know what I mean, look at, you know what I mean, the fact that we finished 8th consecutively both seasons, and he survived that rancid performance. I think it was not last season, season before, that October to December period where he was just on consecutive losses. You know what I mean? He's had so many chances where we could have got him out and brought in a more, you know what I mean, Conte was on the boards and whatnot.
Yeah.
He's gone to Tottenham. You know what I mean? If the opportunity was there, was Arsenal's calling, I'm not gonna lie, we're a bigger outfit than Tottenham. You know what I mean? He would have took that opportunity, especially with the younger players and whatnot. Especially if he was going to give him financial backing, he would have definitely taken that job. No, I'm not for it, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think best thing to do is wait till the end of the season, because let's be real, top 4 is not guaranteed at all. You know what I mean? There's plenty. You know what I mean? United are back in the running. If they start clicking again, there's issues there. You know what I mean? Tottenham, regardless of what we think of them, they're playing, you know what I mean, they're playing relatively well. And they've got a mentality back with them, you know what I mean? Like, there's talking about the Ajax game and whatnot. You know what I mean? There was no fight in that team against Liverpool. You know what I mean? Rancid.
Do you know what, Corey? I hear you, bro. And I look at it this way. I think waiting until the end of the season I think start some talks now, but wait till the end of the season. The context is so important here. You could finish 7th, but still be happy. And what I mean by some people could still be happy in a sense of if your win percentage between now and the end of the season is 70%, but so's Man United's and so's Spurs', but you end up 6th or 7th. It isn't as bad as those teams go on a run and end up finishing 15, 16, 17 points in front of you. That's the context I think that needs to be looked at in terms of this. Then you've got to look at it. Who can we bring in? Are they available? Are they better? Do they fit the kind of squad that we're building? There are things that need to be considered by Arsenal. When does he still run out? Is it he's got 2 years left?
I think he's got 18 months left. This is the issue. He's got 18 months left, and you're going to offer him another 2-year extension. That's crazy. He's not got enough in the bank to justify an extension on 18 months he's already got left. You know what I mean? If this was a year, you know what I mean, a year down the line and was in this position, then maybe it's up for consideration towards the end of this season. Because like you said, we could still have a decent run, but because of performances we've had early in the season, it's a simple case. We just run out of steam towards the end of the season, or like you said, United click into gear. You know what I mean? Tottenham continue on their run. Even West Ham, because, you know what I mean, let's not get it twisted. I'm still surprised they're still in and around now. I thought they would have a little drop off.
Yeah, and you know, under Conte as well. I know Gooners especially don't like hearing this, and there's always a sort of a hidden smile when you say it. In the league under Conte, they just look like one of those efficient machines. Yeah. You look at them and you think they play pretty good football against Leicester, to be fair, but it's like, I didn't expect them to win. They get away with it. Even when they've had a bad or couple of performances under him, they've still got a draw. The guy is just a machine in the league, and they haven't signed anybody yet either. That's also going to be key. Like, if they pull in, I'm not sure if Traore is the guy, but they pull in him and one other decent signing in this window, I don't think Man United is staying with him either. I just think they are going to grind out more results than both our teams, you know?
It's a mentality thing, and that's what Conte brings in. This is what I think Arteta struggles with. He doesn't have enough credentials in the bank. Fair enough, he has got a lot of the bad eggs out there and whatnot. So it's the younger players, they don't really have that perception of him. But at the same time, to me, it seems like he doesn't warrant that type of authority where, you know what I mean, you can look at second half performances where you can notice a massive change in the team. You look at that game against Liverpool, where was the fight in there? We're at home, and all the advantages after the performance we put in on the first leg, and we just, you know what I mean? It was just limp. There was no other word for it. You know what I mean? They could have easily scored 4-5 against us on that day.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I really, really do. Corey, great call as ever. Really appreciate you coming on and having a day, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Amin's been waiting a while. What are you saying, Amin?
Hi Terry. When I tell you, Mikel Arteta is the most luckiest manager luckiest man in the world. Yeah. Firstly, he's paid millions to be in a job where he's under no pressure. Contract talks after being knocked out of 2 cup competitions in 2 weeks. They couldn't even wait until we got on a decent run and then maybe spin the positive. Oh, here's a contract talk. After 2 cup competition exits, we're talking about contract talks. And firstly, for me, it's top 4 or bust. There is no justification why Mikel Arteta cannot get top 4 this season. We're out of both cup competitions, 1 game per week. Our rivals, Manchester United, no disrespect to it, but you guys are going to the managerial transition with Ralph Ragnick. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes with your club. Tottenham, who I think, Tottenham are Tottenham, and yes, I know with Conte, but I think our squad is better than Tottenham, and there is no justification for us not making top 4. For me, if he cannot make top 4 with 1 game per season, 1 game per week, what makes you think? Let's say next season, this season we finish 6th place and we're in Europa League. What makes you think he can then go get top 4 next season with 2 games per week, whilst Manchester United have a new manager and Tottenham back Conte? There is no chance. And I'm seeing reports of there's contracts to defend interest from Manchester City. Are you crazy? Manchester City going for Mikel Arteta. He would even survive to Christmas with Manchester City. He would have been sacked 4 times with Manchester City with the runs this guy goes on. For me, if he signs that contract, Arsenal are finished. There is no justification for giving a contract now. We have to wait till the end of the season. For me, top 4 or get out of the club. There's no justification.
Amin, I appreciate your opinion, my friend. Thank you very, very much indeed. Viewers, listen, sadly, that's all we've got time for this morning. But we'll be back live after Manchester United versus West Ham. Should have Frankie on, the West Ham fan, with me to review that game. And, of course, after Man City's match later today. Sorry I couldn't take any more calls. I really appreciate all your support. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again